This was the most despairing air disaster in history. In just a brief trip to the restroom, the captain found himself locked out of the cockpit, unable to re-enter. He could only watch helplessly as the aircraft plummeted, resulting in the deaths of 150 people. The wreckage at the scene numbered over 600 pieces, with aerial footage depicting a scene too gruesome to bear. On March 24, 2015, at 9:01 a.m., Germanwings Flight 9525 departed from Barcelona Airport in Spain, en route to Düsseldorf, Germany. Following standard procedures outlined by the control center, the captain confirmed clearance from air traffic controllers and activated cruise mode at 9:30 a.m. Everything appeared normal at first. However, within minutes, ground control noticed something was amiss. Without authorization, the aircraft suddenly descended by over 600 meters and continued to descend rapidly. Controllers immediately attempted to contact the crew to inquire about the situation, but received no response. From 9:35 to 9:39 a.m., ground control made multiple attempts to establish contact using different frequencies, yet there was still no reply. At 9:40 a.m., the aircraft disappeared from radar entirely. At 9:41 a.m., Germanwings Flight 9525 tragically crashed into the Alps. After about a week of search efforts, both black boxes were finally recovered. Analysis of the cockpit voice recorder revealed that the plane had been hijacked, but not by terrorists. Let's rewind to the moments before the crash inside the cockpit. At 9:30 a.m., the aircraft was in normal cruise phase. The co-pilot urged the captain to use the restroom, and without much thought, the captain left. The co-pilot swiftly lowered the altitude. The captain, upon discovering something was amiss outside the restroom, immediately returned, intending to enter the cockpit. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he knocked on the door, there was no response from inside. At that moment, he finally realized that the aircraft had been hijacked by the co-pilot. Following the events of 9/11, cockpit security had been enhanced to protect crew members. Entry could only be gained through two methods: by requesting access via intercom or by entering an emergency random code. However, regardless of the method used, ultimate control remained inside the cockpit. In the final minutes before the crash, the captain knelt on the ground, pleading desperately, while passengers seemed to already know the outcome. Ultimately, all 144 passengers and 4 crew members, including the captain and co-pilot, perished. During the investigation, German authorities discovered that Andreas, the co-pilot, was only 27 years old. He had a passion for flying since childhood and joined flight school after graduation. However, severe depression led to his suspension. After providing a complete treatment report, his pilot license was reinstated. Months later, when filling out paperwork for the Federal Aviation Administration, he concealed his history of depression. Despite being eligible for imprisonment following subsequent medical screenings, he miraculously regained his flying qualifications. As his condition worsened, he began heavily medicating with antidepressants, but maintained a facade of normalcy in his work and life. 4 days before the crash, he suddenly contemplated suicide and extensively researched Airbus A320 flight manuals online, familiarizing himself with the cockpit door locking mechanism. Upon entering the cruise phase of the flight, he continuously pressured the captain to use the restroom and began executing his horrific suicide plan.